us too.
Over in Fond du Lac is they are breaking ground. They are starting to trench and they are starting to bore. Yesterday they brought the pullback pipes into onto the reservation boundaries. We have people at Palisades right now who are locking down to equipment, stopping work every single day, locking down to vehicles. It's just amazing. It's just great. You know, there's really not much I can talk about. You know, it's hard to put into words what it feels like there in Fond du Lac where work is ongoing. You know, every day they're breaking ground. And a while back, you know, I was approached by Enbridge and they stated that they had someone who wanted to meet me, and that person was like the Indigenous rights something. They basically, if they're Indian whisperer, meet me? What do you mean they want to meet me? I've been here for thousands of years. They know me. America knows me. I'm the grandmother through the boarding school whose hair they cut, language they took, and virginities they stole. They know me. I'm the land itself that they desecrate daily. Enbridge knows me. And for them to come now and say that they care about MIMIW is a lie. If they cared, they would have took action 50 years ago when their pipelines were affecting the Indigenous people of so-called Canada. They know me. And if Enbridge wants to meet me, they will meet me on the front line. I hope everyone here today will find their way to Palisades to support the work that's going down there. And this Friday, Gitchigumi closes the deal on a land purchase of 10 acres bought for us by the people. We hope that you will join us and take a stand for the land, take a stand for the water, stand for our women. Because moving forward, this isn't about me. This is about all of us. Our seventh fire prophecy isn't about me. It's about all of you. It's about all of us. Stepping forward and moving together into a brighter tomorrow. And I need you now. Miigwech for being here. We're going to open this mic up to anybody who has some words to share. So please feel free.
So I just wanted to be real brief. My name is Carl. Since you got an open mic here, I just wanted to, I was explaining to someone just a few minutes ago, I live in Duluth, Minnesota, and I've lived in Superior, Wisconsin, and what nobody seems to know in North America is that Superior, Wisconsin, from Clearbrook, Minnesota to Superior, Wisconsin, is the Amazon River of tar sands. But the majority of tar sands oil that gets mined in Canada and is not refined in Canada comes through Superior, Wisconsin. 2.5 million barrels a day already, without this pipeline expansion, comes to Superior, Wisconsin. I didn't make that number up. Go on Enbridge's website and look at their interactive map and click on Superior and look at the pipelines that come through here and say how much each pipeline carries. All told, it's 2.5 million barrels per day. How much was Keystone XL planned to be? So like 450,000. How much is DAPL? Like 350,000. Something along those lines, right? 2.5 million barrels a day. That is the Amazon River of tar sands oil coming through this community right here, this sleepy community on the shore of Lake Superior. And nobody in North America seems to know. That's what we're up against. We're up against it getting bigger, and that's why we're here fighting, and we're here to protect treaty rights, because the treaties of the Anishinaabe people are our treaties. I'm a white guy, and I have a drop of Indian blood in me for what that's worth, but those treaties are my treaties. Those treaties protect my water. They protect your water, and they protect our water. So we're here to stand for the treaties. Thanks.
Okay. My friend asked me to come up here and talk a little bit. So, you know, I've been trying to help out around the community with Fond du Lac for a couple of years off and on. And one of the first times I was up here, I got the privilege to go ricing. And it's really beautiful. It's like the whole ecosystem there. The whole lake is built around that rice. You know, you have these rice spiders that put all their legs together here. And so they look like the husk of the rice, and they stick their butt out, and then the rice worm comes and thinks it's a piece of rice and tries to get it, and the spider wraps around it and grabs it, and you know everything there lives for the rice. The rice birds, it's all unique species that evolved there, just like the people from here. Back in the 60s, the Army Corps of Engineers dug a bunch of ditch banks so that they could control the level of the rice. And so one leak anywhere along the river threatens all of that. All the rice, that feeds all of the people, that feeds all of the spiders, that eat all of the worms, all the muskrats. It's all connected. And not just like in some hippy-dippy way. It's all literally connected by the Army Corps of Engineers who are trying to control their food source. And now they're trying to poison their food source. And the continuation of the genocide that we've seen since the birth of what is America. And it's just another way of doing it. It's not an army war anymore. Now it's controlling their food. And it's all that, and I really shouldn't be up here talking about genocide, but my friend asked me to come up here and talk about rice. And you can't really talk about one without talking about the other, because that's what's at risk. I'm getting nervous, so somebody else take this mic, please. Thank you for coming here and doing this. My English name is Paul Devane. I'm the board chairman for On the Earth. While the organization is over on the Great River Road holding down the fort there, it's only one of many, many events like this. There's the Thief River Red Lake Camp. There's people at White Earth putting together another camp. There's the Canoe Collective Camp. Some of you have been over there and you know the sacrifice they're making there. And they're doing it because we have now 4 appeals and 1 lawsuit against Enbridge, against the public Utilities Commission an appeal, the Minnesota DNR, the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, something I don't remember, and the Earth Justice lawsuit filed on behalf of Red Lake and White Earth, and they're all going to be heard in court. And while Enbridge achieved their federal water crossing permit, they got it from the Trump administration without an environmental impact statement by the Army Corps of Engineers attached to it. He says, oh, we don't need that. We don't need to look at Minnesota, we'll just do it because we can get it through. That's why Enbridge is trying to bring in 4,200 workers here to get this pipeline done in the next 120 days if they can. That's why it's essential to slow it down. That's why it's essential for people to put themselves on the line. If they have to get that citation, there's been about 60 people who have stopped, slowed down construction. I was over at Palisades the other day when 6 young climate defender youth stood on the road and turned back over 30 Enbridge trucks. A lot of them coming from Precision Trucking in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. In fact, the majority of them that day on the road were from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which I'd never seen before, but I saw the trucks out here at Fond du Lac Reservation on the way back as well. You know, the Dakota Access Line was built when they started the crew on one end, and on the north end it met at the center at Standing Rock. You know, and it took them 9 months or 10 months. But the reason they're urgently got people from, you know, all the jobs they say they're going to produce, right? Go look for yourself up there where the license plates are. Louisiana, Texas, Kansas, Pennsylvania. They are everywhere other than Minnesota because they're trying to bring all these people in to rush the pipeline in, to get in front of the federal court decisions, to get in front of the appeals. I came over here because I was looking for someone that I found, and I got to run and go get a document because I think he's another key to helping us out. A couple of weeks ago we ran across a scroll that talks about the migration of the Anishinaabe from the Atlantic Ocean to Leech Lake. It's a beautiful scroll. It's been in the public domain for some time. We were looking at that because it talks about the Nemadji River and the trail that went across to Oliver to the Fond du Lac trading posts. The route of the pipeline down there on Military Road. We looked at that scroll and looked at all the sacred objects from Fond du Lac along the St. Louis River, the portage over to the Mississippi, the Great River Road and the headwaters to the Mississippi. We looked at this scroll that was put together and started maybe 10 or 50,000 years ago because it talks about the creation story on this side and Leech Lake on this side. Just north of a little place that talks about the portage, it says Sandy Lake. And the only place on that scroll of many objects is a snake crossing the Mississippi, and where that portage comes into the Mississippi River. Who dreamt about that snake 1,000 years ago and put it on a scroll for the Anishinaabe people to see, to help lead the way that says, these are sacred places, these are places that need to be protected in addition to the water and the air and the resources and the future of our generations. So miigwech for your sacrifice, miigwech for your work. What can you do? What do you do best? You take pictures and post them. You write poetry about it and post them. You cook good fry bread, make fry bread and hand it out to people. Be a good host to the people that are going to put their lives on the line. It's simple for me when someone says, why are you going to go up there in a pandemic? And I says, well, I ain't going to put my life on the line to be in the water. Not such a proud boy. Hey, why would I want to put my life on the line by going to a New Year's Eve party and hugging all my friends when my life can be endangered helping save the earth and protecting the environment? Miigwech.
that gets boiled beyond recognition, the water that gets poisoned beyond its ability to support life, and for the indigenous MMIWR that's missing murdered indigenous women and relatives that are the cost of doing business in treaty territories. Enbridge is culpable, or they would be culpable, but we're going to stop them despite their best efforts. It's up to us, and it always was. Right now, we're standing in solidarity with the indigenous resistance groups that have been defending their way of life and continue to defend their way of life. We're supporting them with direct action. It's up to all of us to put our bodies on the line. We need to physically prevent these machines from doing their terrible fucking deeds to the planet before there is no planet left to save. Y'all are powerful as fuck, and I know we can get this done. There's no doubt in my mind we're gonna stop this fucking pipeline. Stop line 3! Stop line 3! Soil! Get tree soil! Get tree soil!
Keep it in the soil!
Get tree soil!
Keep it in the soil! Keep it in the soil! Keep it in the soil! Keep it in the soil! Keep it in the soil! Keep it in the soil! I took a little gas. Almost
If you don't leave, you'll be arrested. So you're like, I just don't, like, what is...
Appreciation to the Dakota Nation people for sending their people here. You get the same response I give to the local law enforcement agencies back in my area. You have no jurisdiction! So, we're waiting on the court stuff that's happening, but as the court stuff is happening, you know, waiting on that, we are witnessing trees being taken down. We are witnessing the machinery digging into the ground and putting those little slats in the ground to carry the pipes. And they've been bringing in pipes every single day, and there's like 18 pipes that was delivered 2 nights ago. Tonight they'll be going under the cover of night to be able to bring more pipes in. So we need bodies on the ground. Even if you have to write to the governor and let him know what's happening, please let him know. Let Keith Ellison know that we no longer want these pipelines in. Every day I tell those Enbridge workers, you are rapists, you are murderers, you're killers of Mother Earth. Rapists, murderers, killers of Mother Earth. Rapists, murderers, killers of Mother Earth.
I'm a settler. My family's been in Palisade for 5 generations. One of the first families to settle in that place. And some of my family work on the Enbridge pipeline. And some of my family are standing with us water protectors. But I know that us together, this is what it's about. And what you said, Taisha, is really true. This water is what connects us. And I invite you to come up to Palisade. We put together a little welcome center there where you can come and be together, learn a little bit about where you are, find your place in these various movements and actions that are all in opposition to Line 3 and to honor the treaties, to protect the water that all our lives depend on. So I'm really glad to see you all here. And thank you, Tanya, for riding along. And we're gonna go see the big lake after this, I think, too. And remember that water is at risk from this pipeline also, right? So that's why you're all here too. So thank you very much.
Remember that big get-together event we had when we brought over 1,700 large? And they said we were not going to be able to pull that off. We pulled it off.
want to say, if you do decide on going up to these camps, whether it be the Palisades or the Red Lake camp or Tejas camp or wherever, or the canoe collecting camp, just like keep it in your heads. Just ask yourselves the questions: what do you have to lose? Because Native people on this land and everywhere on this earth don't have much else to lose but their water, their land, and their life. So just think about that when you go out to these places, and just bring your best self and ask yourself, what intentions am I bringing here? What am I going to do to really help? You know, because there's a lot of resources and stuff there, and they're not just for being used, you know. We need people to put their bodies on the line, you know. So just wanted to say that. Thanks.
When you think about it, isn't it scary to think that an Indian is thinking, I have nothing to lose? Look at history. It's kind of scary. I wouldn't want to be anybody on the other side of me.
I love you too. We're fighting for new water too. So it's getting dark. It's getting cold. I'm really thankful for everyone who came out here today. And before Sherry and I make our way back to our community, we do so understanding that when we leave here today, we hope to further these connections, further these relationships, and move forward in a way where we are supporting and honoring one another. Because when Sherry and I go home tonight, we're going home tonight to a community divided. We're going home tonight where many people want us to just sit down and be quiet, because it's easier. We're going home to a community where many of these people are going to be paid a pretty penny by this pipeline.
Yeah.
But Sherry and I, multiple times, have turned down that blood money. There's not enough money on this earth that can replace the wild rice that our people still depend on today. There's not enough money in this earth that can convince my 8-year-old daughter that this pipeline is okay. The other day, as she was braiding my hair, I was telling her about this event. And she goes, make sure they hear us. That's an 8-year-old daughter. That's a child. Because as Indigenous people, we have to have really hard conversations with our children. Because it's my children who go MMIW, not Enbridge's. So when we go home today, we got to keep a sharp eye out. As these trucks trespass sacred lands, we got to watch for their eyes as they trespass the bodies of our children. Because that's the reality. When this infrastructure goes up, so does sex trafficking, and so does drug trafficking. And within Indigenous communities, we've already been devastated by both. So when we go home today, we do so recognizing ourselves not just as water protectors, but as protectors of the people. Because in 100 years, when our grandchildren talk about how we've stopped Line 3, we're going to be people worth speaking of. Miigwech, I hope